It has been 18 days since the world was caught off guard. That is, Israel was caught off guard. Hamas attacked parts of Israel, and Israel declared a war. But in these 18 days, a lot has changed. From geopolitics to war strategies, if this war drags on, support for Israel might change too. Before we get into the fine print of this, look at this graph. We have collated data since October 7th. As the war took its course, casualties on both sides grew. We checked the latest data before starting this broadcast. It stands at 1,400 in Israel and over 6,500 in Gaza. 6,500. But what becomes important to notice here is that the death toll is rising in Gaza at an alarming rate. Well, after 11th of October, death toll in Israel stagnated. The reasons lie in Israel's more advanced weaponry and intensified airstrikes. But this data is also crucial for the international community's changing perspective. The United Nations chief has been calling for a ceasefire for a long time now. He went a step further and said that Hamas's attack on October 7th did not happen in a vacuum.
It is important to also recognize the attacks by Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. The Palestinian people have been subjected to 56 years of suffocating occupation. They have seen their land steadily devoured by settlements and plagued by violence, their economy stifled, their people displaced, and their homes demolished.
These statements obviously did not sit well with Israel. Top-level officials are now asking the United Nations chief to step down. It also forced the It also forced the chief, Guterres, to clarify that it would be wrong to accuse him of justifying Hamas attacks. But Israel needs to prepare for this. As the days pass, the international support for Israel's actions can start waning. The death toll in Gaza is rising. Palestinians have been robbed of their basic rights, and the health authority says their system is completely out of service. Guterres is not alone. Former U.S. President Barack Obama has criticized Israel's decision to cut off food and water to Gaza. He says it will not only worsen a growing humanitarian crisis, it could further harden Palestinian attitudes for generations to come, even erode global support for Israel and undermine efforts to achieve peace. Hard-left French politician Jean-Luc Mélenchon has accused the Emmanuel Macron government of encouraging a massacre. This in reference to Israel's strikes on Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip. Irish Premier has slammed Israel for cutting off water, electricity to Gaza. He has called the action a violation of international humanitarian law. A statement by him read, and I quote, "Israel is under threat. They do have a right to defend themselves, but they don't have the right to breach international humanitarian law." He further says, "To me, it amounts to collective punishment, and that's not the way a respectable democratic state should conduct itself." Finland, Latvia, Estonia, and Poland have called for an investigation after bombing of Gaza hospital. Even this call for an investigation shows intent because Israel has already denied any involvement in the bombing, but Western nations are still holding their own investigations. The moral compass is tilting towards the people of Gaza. While no one is supporting Hamas, they are also not condoning Israel's assault in Gaza. And if the war drags on, Gaza is bound to get more support and Israel is bound to attract more questions. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.